Sarah was the kind of person who made the world feel brighter just by being in it. I never imagined a life without her until the night everything fell apart. One party, one decision I begged her not to make, and one nightmare that changed our future forever. When she told me she was pregnant, she whispered it like she was sharing a blessing. But to me, I saw the aftermath of what had been done to her. I saw the darkness she was forced into. I saw a future that didn't feel like mine. And the worst part? I hated myself for feeling that way. I didn't know who to talk to. I drove to my friend Ryan's place, desperate for clarity. But Ryan, he jokes through everything, even this. When he finally took me seriously, all he said was, "If it's too much, walk away." His words dug into me the whole ride home. Next, I called Jason, an old frat friend I hadn't spoken to in years. I told him it was a hypothetical situation, but he wasn't stupid. He knew it was real. He told me to stay, that Sarah needed someone who wouldn't add more pain to the trauma she was already carrying. But hearing two completely different opinions didn't help. It only made the ache in my chest heavier. Eventually, I had to face the person who mattered most, Sarah. She listened quietly while I told her what I was feeling, the fear, the guilt, the confusion. And then, I brought up the one thing I knew she'd hate to hear. Would you consider ending the pregnancy? The way she looked at me, like I had asked her to destroy something sacred, still haunts me. I already know my answer, she whispered. If you can't handle raising this baby, maybe you're not the man I thought you were. She walked away, and with her footsteps, a piece of us cracked. The weeks that followed were emotional whiplash. One day we'd laugh, cook together, hold each other like the world was normal, and the next, a single comment about the baby would send us spiraling back into the same painful argument. I didn't understand it. Why would a 19-year-old girl in college, terrified, traumatized, and broke, cling so hard to this pregnancy? Something didn't add up. One night, after lying awake for hours in a silent room that felt too cold, I did something I'm not proud of. I went through her phone. Her friends' messages were normal, memes, gossip, nothing about the baby. But then, I opened the group chat with her parents. And everything inside me froze. Her mother's messages weren't comforting, they weren't loving, they were cruel, violent, blaming. You wouldn't have been violated if you dressed like that. You always wanted attention from men, even when you were young. The priest had to step down because of girls like you. If you don't keep that baby, forget about heaven. Maybe now you'll finally stop acting like a Jezebel. You deserved what happened, and you will keep this child. My stomach turned. This wasn't a mother protecting her daughter. This was manipulation, wrapped in religion and shame. Sarah walked into the room just as I closed her phone. I forced a smile and hugged her, but all I could think about was the pain she had been carrying alone. For days, I tried to take care of her, cooking for her, running her baths, holding her when she broke down. But the truth burned inside me. She didn't want this baby. She was terrified. She was being forced. Finally, one night, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I saw the messages from your mom, I admitted. I know they guilted you. I know you're scared. Please talk to me. She broke, not in anger, but in heartbreak. She collapsed into my arms, sobbing, shaking, whispering the truth she hadn't dared to say out loud. That every day, she felt like something inside her was a reminder of the worst moment of her life. That she felt dirty, trapped, guilty. That she didn't want the baby, not because she was heartless, but because she felt she could never love it the way a mother should. And for the first time, we were finally on the same side. The next morning, with trembling hands, she opened her laptop to look for clinics. I stayed beside her through every step, every call, every tear. The day of the appointment was quiet, heavy.
I waited outside the procedure room, praying she would come out feeling lighter. She did, but barely. I took her home and laid her on the couch, her favorite cooking show playing softly in the background. Then her phone rang. Her mother. Sarah looked at the screen like it was a bomb. She answered, voice weak. "I'm just a little lightheaded." "What do you mean? Is the baby okay?" Sarah couldn't speak, and her mother didn't wait. She simply said, "We're coming," and hung up. When her parents arrived, fury was written all over their faces. They demanded to see her, demanded to see their grandchild. But when they spotted the clinic medication on the counter, they lost their minds. They hurled insults, scripture, accusations, called her sinful, called us sinful, said she disgusted them. That was the moment something inside me snapped. "You need to leave," I said, "right now, or I'm calling the police. And if you ever show up again without apologizing, you will never be part of her life." They left, shouting, slamming the door behind them. A year passed. One quiet Saturday morning, our doorbell rang again. I opened it to find her parents standing there, older somehow, softer. "We miss our little girl," her father said. Sarah forgave them because that's who she is, kind, gentle, hopeful. But forgiveness doesn't erase scars. Every attempt at rebuilding ended the same way. A trigger, an argument, a tear, reopening an old wound. Eventually, Sarah realized that healing didn't mean keeping people who hurt her, so she let them go. Today, we're stronger. Not because life got easier, but because we faced the darkest parts of it together. And we learned that sometimes family isn't who you're born to. It's who stays, who listens, who loves you without conditions. And honestly, we only ever needed each other.